no ndingati inini hedu nokuwanda kuri kuita machechi kana kuti maorganizations well parimwe kutaura kwekunyenga vanhu mukano handiti indoziva kuti ndikasvikira ndichiti varume takaenzana nevakadzi munhu wese anobva afara kuti yes but now munhu wemukadzi hakuna kwaunoenda kana usina murume ozi uri nyama nhete pana siti ndichiti inozongoda baba vanorenzaniswa patari.
Yes, I am a very passionate feminist. And the reason why I am a feminist, I advocate for equality and balancing for better.
I am a feminist. I believe in equal opportunities for men and women.
Women are leading the fight for gender equality globally. Perhaps now more than ever, the wheels of change are slowly starting to move. Recently, we had the Me Too movement, which saw some big names in Hollywood exposed for sexual abuse against women. But what is the state of feminism in Zimbabwe? Does the ordinary man on the street know what feminism is all about?
I didn't actually know what is feminism.
Tutanga kurinzwa nesi.
Mdaranza ndatomborinza wedroda.
Yatsana mborinzo.
Manifestation mborinzo. Ndisi.
No answered.
Yeah, feminism ndiziwa. It's a group of people vari kuti vakadzi nevarume they are equal.
Feminism in my context, for the longest, men have been dominating women. And by that, it has sort of propelled abuse, violence against women and the girl child. So feminism for me comes in to say, okay, for the longest, the male figure has been dominating. Why can't we balance? Have the 50% from the men and the 50% from the woman. So we balance. Whatever a man can do, a woman can also do. My bodily structure or my hormonal imbalances should not be a deterrent to what a woman can do.
I think my perception on feminism has been tainted, for lack of a better word, by my personal life, or rather domestic circumstances of being a single provider. I'm a divorcee, and my outlook on life and sex and gender roles, etc., has been largely opened more than the average woman who may not be in my situation. So therefore, yes, as much as I'm pro-equality and equity in favor of women, obviously, and the girl child, I am also very, very clear that there are distinct roles that have to be done by men and that have to be done by women in order for the world or for the universe to be aligned. It just actually doesn't work. You cannot have a society which is solely feminine. And as a mother of 2 boys, it makes my perception even worse, because I have come across situations where I have literally found myself dumbfounded either by the questions or by things that I have to show them what to do, like riding bicycles or how to use a toilet. Do you know that as a woman, to teach a young boy how to use the toilet is actually a very difficult, if not uncomfortable thing to do? So that's why I say, yes, as much as you're forced to do it because of circumstances, I believe that for things to be aligned, there has to be a separation, and you can't do with one. You have to have the two, and they have their distinct roles.
inini maonero angu varume vanofanira kuenda padenga. Handizivi kuti ndingati chii.
Maybe have to look at the advantages and disadvantages, and sometimes kana tiita some advantages zvinogona zvakanakira something and kuma disadvantage zvinogona zvakashatira something, because I don't think kuti murume nevakadzi anofanira kuita equal, because pakaita equal ndopanosowanda misunderstanding between people, because mumwe anenge achizvito because tiri equal, so ndopanosowanda zvinhu zvakawanda, panozoitika zvinhu zvakawanda mostly.
Musiyano uripo pakuti kubva kutanga Mwari ndiye akasika denga nenyika, zvikanzi mukadzi imbabvu yemurume, imbabvu yakatorwa pamurume, zvikura kuti mukadzi ari weaker than murume. Murume ane mose kana kuti more power.
Ipapo manje panotinetsei indongobhiliva nchiti takafanana tese, but nenawo ngotiwo zvinonzi mukadzi haazotonge mumba saka anofanira kuenda pasi pemurume.
I don't believe that kuti varume nevakadzi vakaenzana, nokuti Mwari vakati murume ari pamusoro pemukadzi, mukadzi anofanira kuisa pasi pemurume wake, saka hazvina kuenzana. Pandinotora wedre kuti I don't believe that kuti murume nemukadzi vakaenzana.
Handikwanisa kuzviexplaina, but inini semafungiro angu varume vari pamusoro pevakadzi, because according to the Bible a man is a head of family, so a woman must submit.
Varume nevakadzi havana kuenzana, because kana iro shoko rinotaura kuti mukadzi ari pasi pemurume, saka vanokuzogoenzana chiudzivi. Iyoyo ndeyatinoti era under the sun, because kana uri munhu anonamata unofanira kuziva iyo place. Wakaziva iyo place haude kunamira kune zvimwe zvinhu zvese izvi. Yauri kutaura yakada kungofanana nokuti human rights, kuti varume nevakadzi vanofanira kuita zvinhu zvimwe chete. Zvinhu zvakatosiyana, mukadzi nesaka zvakanzi mukadzi nezvakasaka zvakanzi murume. Ndinoziva zvinhu zvari kutaura zvinorovesa, zvinoisa hasha kune vanhu vazhinji, but ndicho chokwadi chavanofanira chokwadi chinorwadza nguva dzese.
I would say there is stigma around feminism, because people don't quite understand that what feminists are advocating for is equal rights and equal opportunities. So because of religion, women are brought up to believe that they are supposed to be the neck while the husband is the head. So that automatically says to a woman that she's not at par with the man, that the man is way above, and the woman is supposed to have a supportive role, because if you look at the neck supports the head. Yes, the woman says she is important because the head can't do without the neck. But feminists are saying, no, it's not about the head and the neck. It's about equal opportunities. It's not about women being the head or the men being the neck. It's about being equal. And then religion also, played a very big role in how women feel about themselves, and also how men feel about giving women equal opportunities. If you look at churches like the Roman Catholic Church and the Anglican Church, and most of these churches, the old churches per se, traditional churches, women could not were not allowed to have big roles, to play big roles in the church. Women could not be priests. Women could only be nuns. So nuns used to play a supportive role to the priest. The Anglican Church, of course, has changed that, and there is still debates in the Catholic Church, which has been going on for quite some time, whether women at some point will be allowed to to be priests. So that alone, if a woman is a Christian and abides by the
Christian values.
by the Christian values, then they automatically believe that women are not supposed to be at equal level with the men, and men will always be superior. So they will not understand when women say, let's have equality.
And also, one thing that you should know, our society, it is built and founded on our culture and religion. Okay. And when I say culture and religion, I mean all cultures and and all religions, and most of all the religions that we are practicing in Zimbabwe, they give men the power they don't deserve, I must say. They give men too much power, whether Christianity, Islam. Which religion is a bit liberal? I've forgotten, but it should be. Most of them, they give men so much power. So when we are we are founded on those values of religion, where men have so much power. So when we are trying to say men are trash, it's it won't be received fairly to the society, because they believe men are trash. And the other women who believe it's good for me to be beaten up by my husband every day, because if I'm naughty, he's got the right to put me back in track, 1 or 2 whips. There are women who believe that.
Okay, I believe that women, it always starts with the girl child, really, doesn't it? Should have access to education, access to fair rights, to legal representation, to fair employment, which doesn't prejudice them because of discrimination. But what I don't subscribe to is the hard corners of feminism, if I'm allowed to say that, because I feel that it may be too biased. And like I keep referring, once you have different life experiences, you actually realize the importance that there are just some things that females cannot do, or rather maybe, shall I say, that men can do better or are better equipped to deal with. That's a very controversial statement, I know, but I won't retract on that statement.
kwekwe akusarudzirwi kuti varume kana kuti vakadzi iyo kutadza kutoendesa iko kuti udaita dhiraivha gonyeti kurova kutoti unenge usingatikwanisi, haungakwanisi kudhiraivha uchidhiraivha gonyeti from DRC uchienda kusvika South Africa, ungazvikwanisi.
There's gender equality and gender equity. Okay, I'll put it this way: we are advocating for gender equality and gender equity. Okay, fine. With the genetics, maybe a woman, I don't want to say a woman is weak. There's nothing like that. It's only a choice, because some of these things, as I say to you, they are socially constructed roles by people, and because a woman is an emotional being. Okay, so by being an emotional being, people think we are weak. When a woman loses a partner, loses a child, they quickly cry. They respond so much emotionally. Doesn't mean they are weak. It's just that they are emotional beings. And also, if a man can go under in a mine and dig for gold underneath, a woman can still do the same. Don't take my emotional being as a weakness. That they are weak, they cannot go down and drill under in a gold mine. A woman can still do that. But at the same time, look, let's say there's an opening and there's a man and a woman, and fine, they want to also go down and dig for gold underneath. Obviously, maybe because of a woman being an emotional being, you can give that role to a man, because there is a man who can still do it. But if there is no man who can do it, fine, fair and fine, the woman can go under and drill and come back with the gold, maybe even more.
I think, like everything else in life, it depends with the personality and what you want to be. I think we all have choices. There are men who will not go underground because they don't have they are not brave enough to do it. And so, as women, there are women who will not go under. there are cases when women are said not to be strong enough. But if you look at a woman on a typical day in the rural area, she will wake up very early in the morning.
Yes.
She will go into the field. She will do the plowing. She will then go and cook. She'll go back to the field and do the weeding, then go and look for firewood and carry a heavy load. This is all showing that a woman is quite strong.
And while she's
But
in the field, she's busy with a baby.
Yes.
There's a baby that she's busy feeding.
Yes. But then when it comes to where commercial items are, commercial setups are concerned, that's when a woman will be sidelined, and then people say she's not strong enough for this job. But the chores that women do in a village, especially if the husband is away working in town, they do everything that needs doing because there won't be any men to do it. This alone shows that women can do what men can do.
I have a question. Have you ever wondered why a lot of restaurants prefer to hire male waiters? Think about it. Or even in bars, it's a lot of men. Simply because the physical demands of the job are easier dealt with by men than women. Physically carrying goods, standing on your feet the whole day. There's a lot of biological challenges that women face. She's pregnant. You're not going to want her to carry many plates. She can't be standing the whole day. That's why people employ men, because it's simply easier. It's not an issue of prejudicing women in a way. It just makes it easier biologically. So sometimes I feel that when we're trying to push for agendas, we get things mixed up and we just don't look at them in the simplicity that they are, if that makes sense.
Recently, we had the Men Are Trash hashtag trending on Twitter. This obviously created a very big debate on Twitter, with some arguing as to the effectiveness of this approach.
In some instances, men are trash. The reason why I'm saying this, because they are the perpetrators of gender-based violence and domestic violence. And that hashtag men are trash, it was started just because of the gender-based violence, which is being perpetrated by men.
Men are not trash. It comes down to personal circumstances. Not if you say men are trash, it's too generalized. That's my issue. I think generalizations are very dangerous. I do subscribe to something like Me Too, because as a hashtag movement founder myself, because I have one against domestic violence, I feel that there's a lot of persecutions against women, which once again, because of culture, cannot be shared publicly because of stigma and because of shame and because etc. So you find that a lot of things are swept under the carpet and society actually has no idea just how bad it is. So I do subscribe to things that affect us in a realistic sense. Me Too stands for women and men and the world at large standing against violence perpetrated towards women, especially sexual violence.
Look, the men are trash, because you're already, before we even have a conversation, you're labeling me, you're calling me trash, which is not right, that's labeling, which is not good. So conversations really, because I've already made a conclusion that you're trash. So really and truly, it's difficult for a conversation to go ahead in situations like that. I don't think it has really been effective. The Men Are Trash was that's the one that was done in South Africa, said in South Africa. I don't think it really has been, because it has received so much backlash. And it's so sad, the backlash normally it comes from the same women that are being abused by the same men.
It's effective in the Western world, definitely, not here. Because here it's very difficult to get. I think the most successful hashtag we had in Zimbabwe was Duku for Tuku. And I think everybody, men and women alike, stood for that because they felt that it was something worth standing for. hashtag movements, and can I talk about our society? They don't work in our society because these are things that you cannot talk about. It is shameful for you as a woman to publicly talk about any experiences you've had sexually or in terms of domestic violence or harassment. It is unacceptable, which is very unfortunate. That's why it doesn't work. It makes people uncomfortable. And unfortunately, once again, because of culture, we have to pander to everyone's sensitivity. Oh no, but we can't talk about that, so let's just let it go. That's where I feel we need to take steps forward in allowing people to know, men who also suffer these issues, to know that you can talk about it and make it a very powerful movement. And like you said, saying men are trash is very regressive. Me Too applies to men and women, in my opinion. Men are trash is regressive because you're not highlighting the good things that men do. They're amazing fathers. They're amazing men in our society who do a lot of things. They're amazing mentors, amazing men who do things for society, philanthropists, etc. Sportsmen who our children look up to. So you can't, it's regressive to say that men are trash without highlighting the good that they do. And those are those hardcore extremist views that I have issues with, because I feel that they're unfair.
Yeah, that's on Jiriko, but I don't think some very good kune vangu cause as for me angini vangu vanotanzi varume vanoshungurudza vanonetsa so kugara ndiri ndega nemwana wangu right cause there's this friend of mine akatotiwo handidi zvekurorwa zvinani ndingomindiswa then ndosara nemwana wangu murume oenda ndochengetera vana vangu ndoshandira but izvo ndozvakamunakirawo iyo but as for me ini nangu obviously kutongororwa kuri right but vamwe vavo vanenge vachizvito hatidi kurohwa tidongozvichengetera mhuri yedu, mhuri yangu nevana vangu tiri ndega chete pasina murume nesikosi nesingadi zvinhu zvinondinetsa.
Like this thing of subscribing to the fact that you can live without males in your society, completely untrue. Biologically, physically, spiritually, everything. That's why we were both made, men and female. It was created that way for a reason. So you can't want the other one to be extinct and one to be better than the other. Although, due to cultural impositions of patriarchy, that's where then I guess some people feel that the prejudice comes from, of which I do agree though that we have a very patriarchal society, especially in developing countries, where it's a bit more difficult, actually a lot more difficult for women to be able to stand up for themselves or for those rights to be adhered to or respected. But those are cultural issues. But in terms of biologically, there is a reason why men and females were created, because without the two, you can't keep producing, can you? So it means that we are technically as important. You need each other to be able to make things work.
Because there are three types of feminism. There is the liberal feminist who just believes in equal opportunities, and equal rights and equal opportunities. This is like who I am. I'm a liberal feminist. And then there is the radical feminist who believe that they don't even want to know about the man. They don't even want to get married. They don't want to have any respect for men.
They also want the men to have the babies.
Yes. So in a way, the radical feminism, we might say it hasn't worked, but liberal feminism has worked, because now we see women holding powerful positions. Even if we look at UK now, the parliamentarians and even the prime minister is a woman.
There have also been reports of cases where some women have been taken advantage of laws favorable to women to abuse their spouses.
I think a lot of women take advantage of the fact that they have, depending on the society that they live in. A lot of women take advantage of the fact that they know the law does not stand for such things as violence against women or abuse towards women. And I think that is very immature, because we know instances of men who have been unfairly jailed or tortured or murdered for things that they did not do, simply because a woman decided that she wants to. And a lot of times I think it's women who want to fix the man by creating such scenarios. And then what that does is it creates a disadvantage for real life situations where people, it's like the boy who cried wolf. I think that story is synonymous with all of us around the world. It's a story we all know, where you cry wolf for a certain amount of time, and then when you really need assistance, you can't get it. And for me, those women who cry wolf in those fake instances, it's really wrong, because then it doesn't allow us to then deal with situations that need attention.
If they are being emotionally abused, they should speak out. They should not keep it in, because the more they keep it in, it will then burst. So I'll blame it on the way the boy child is socialized, because he is being emotionally abused, but he can't go and say, they can't, because the society will laugh at him. There's his friends will laugh at him to say, I can't abuse. But it's okay to speak out. But because they don't do that, and once they get home, after it's been happening for months and months, emotionally being abused, and then he will lose it, and then beats on the girl. And normally when they do that, the woman is taken to hospital. In most cases, women are dying because of that. So I'll blame it on the way we are socializing our children as women, as people, as society. Let's not do that. Okay. Now, it's unfortunate men are being called trash. It's all because it's a culmination of activities. This boy child was told to toughen up. So when things were happening, when she was being emotionally abused by this girl, he couldn't say it. He couldn't speak out loud because he doesn't want, because of all these stereotypes. And now he beats up the girl, and now it becomes a problem. If you are a man and you're being emotionally abused, walk away. Walk away. And if you are a woman being emotionally abused, also walk away.
Most women are jealous. Saka obviously mumwe akanzi aenda paposition yakati mwana ingada kutofaita kuenda that position, so vanodzikisirana, so hakwanise kuleader shit.
Even pakuvhotera chepa hativhoterani because tinodzikisirana pachedu, hatidi kuti mumwe mukadzi, vamwe vakadzi vanoti this is yekuti anzi hatitongwe nemumwe mukadzi tiri vakadzi, so that's why vachizodzikisirana kusina vakadzi vakawanda.
Chirimo madzimai vazhinji, madzimai ane fear. Sometimes anegona ane plans of doing something, but mukadzi kana ari a married person cannot do anything without the approval of the husband. Saka ndo panozoka buda akaisvika kuti ari kudzvanyira wake, haana that freedom yekuti ave someone.
The role of men cannot be underestimated, and I feel that it actually starts with the boy child. It starts with little incidences of teaching the boy child issues of respect, issues of being able to assist a female, and issues of being able to see a female through the eyes of being a counterpart where you can walk and work together, not as a lesser being. Because I feel even when you watch little children play, my two sons with females, they'll say things like, but that's not for girls, and I'll be like, wait a minute, explain yourself. Why is that not for girls? Because, girls are girls and they wear pink and they're weak and, we're tough like Black Panther and Avengers, and they get really because everything is so masculine around them. And they then misconstrue that masculinity to mean that it is the representation of how men should be, and that automatically it makes the female a lesser being. That's really sad, because it's something that I can admit that I see through my own children. So I feel that the roles and the concepts and the understanding of equality must start through parenting from a very, very young age.
In a way, I would say feminism, yes. I would actually say it's borrowed from the European culture. The reason being, in Zimbabwe, long ago, before colonization, women were given almost equal opportunities.
Yes.
Or even they were highly regarded. If we look at Mbuyanianda, for instance, she was a strong woman who was well respected. And in that era, women were quite powerful because the society used to listen to women. It used to respect women. Even in a village, women used to own maybe land, and in a village setup, a woman would be given her piece of land, and so it was not a patriarchy was not really as strong as it became after colonization. So in a way, colonization brought more problems to women in terms of patriarchy, than before, because in England, during Victorian times, the women were not allowed to do anything. They would just look pretty in their big gowns.
That a lot of it comes back again to culture. It's just the way things are. It's one of those, it's just the way things are. And everyone accepts that that's how our society works, which is also homogenous in a lot of African societies, which I think is very unfortunate. So I think what we need to do is we need to start allowing people kufukura hapwa, in English, exposing themselves and how they feel and their experiences, which then encourages other people to say, oh, okay, if he or she can say that and publicly, I therefore can also follow suit, and I therefore can also take a stand to try and improve my own rights as an individual, and hopefully that can affect the society positively and the nation at large. That's how I feel. And I just feel we have to break down the cultural wars. We have to, because that is what is setting us back.
What I would say to society is, let's give the girl child a chance. Let's give her the education that she wants. Let's not limit a girl because she is female. Let's give the boy child and the girl. Let's raise them, knowing that they can be, their roles can actually even interchange. They can have the same jobs. They can, have the same opportunities everywhere they go in the world.
I would say to society, to mothers and fathers of today, let's just give everyone equal opportunities. Let's balance for better. And once we balance, it will actually benefit us in the long run. As I said before, that, we have lost so much in terms of human resources in the women that are redundant, not doing anything. You can actually go, like in the society or maybe in the community, talk to this woman. Very good ideas. But you see, this woman, she could have contributed to the the education system of the country, but because she wasn't given the opportunity, she's now made to be at home. So let's just give equal opportunities, and whatever the boy child can do, the girl child can do. And we have noticed that because of the way we are socializing our children, if a boy child leaves home, goes to university, because he can't cook for himself, because he can't do laundry for himself, he ends up getting a girl from the street to do it for him, because he can't do laundry, he can't cook, he can't. And now it gets into be, the problem gets to be bigger. They'll be subjected to STIs, they'll be subjected to whatever, because they just want this woman to come, not that they want to marry or to stay with them, but because this woman is coming and doing the chores for this boy, because he can't cook, he can't do anything. Let's just give our children equal opportunities.